How about a cup of dirt? Now let me be honest, this recipe really isn't that much nostalgic for me. I don't remember having this too often as a kid. In fact, this might be one of my very first times making it myself. And this stuff is like, well, I would say crack, but I've never done crack. So this stuff is like hanging out with your friends on a Friday night. You just ordered pizza and you got a bunch of new video games to play. Yeah, it's that good. So this stuff is pretty easy and simple to make. We're gonna start with our pudding. I got two 3.4 ounces of instant French vanilla pudding. We're gonna break out a large bowl and empty your 2 packs of pudding right to the bowl. And we're not going to follow the box directions of adding 2 cups of milk per one box, which would be 4 cups. Instead, we're only going to add 3 cups of milk. Then give this a good stir for about 2 minutes. And don't worry if it seems too loose, everything will start to thicken as it sits. And speaking of sit, we're going to put this to the side for a few minutes while it thickens. Grab a stand mixer bowl and we're going to add 8 ounces of softened cream cheese and 1/4 cup, which is about a half a stick of softened salted butter. And to that, we're going to add 1 cup of powdered sugar. Bring that over to your stand mixer with the paddle attachment. We're going to beat this on medium speed for about 3 minutes. Stop, scrape down the sides of the bowl, beat it for another 2 minutes. After that, it should be nice and smooth. And by now, your pudding should be nice and thicky. Go ahead and give that a little pre-stir. Add about half of your cream cheese and butter mixture, then go ahead and mix that in. Add the other half of your cream cheese mix, and then mix that in until everything is nice and smooth. Then we're going to take 1 8-ounce package of Cool Whip, and if yours was frozen like mine was, just make sure it is completely thawed. Add the entire container to your pudding mixture. Then we're going to gently fold this in until all of that whipped cream, Cool Whip, whatever you want to call it, is incorporated into your pudding mixture. Once everything is mixed in and smooth, operator, your filling is done. We still got a couple of things left to do, but right now we're going to make our dirt, which is basically just going to be some chopped Oreos. You're going to need 1 14-ounce package of Oreos, but if you're like me and you got the big boy box, that's going to be about 3 of these sleeves here. And I got my food processor, but of course a bag and a rolling pin will also do the trick. And while we're on the topic of food processors, if you like what you see so far, hit me with a like, thumbs up, and if you're new around here, please consider subscribing. Also, as usual, the recipe, ingredients, descriptions, and amounts will be in the description below. I said description twice for some reason, but whatever, back to the Oreos. Fit as many as you can into your food processor or your Ziploc bag if that's what you're using. Close the lid, obviously. Now, I don't want these crumbs as fine as if we were, say, making a cheesecake, where there would be something like a sand mixture, but I want them sort of, chunky, kind of like gravel. The hell am I talking about? Gravel and sand. But I guess, we're making dirt, so I guess it fits into the subject matter. Pour your Oreo gravel mixture into a bowl, and now we're going to start assembling our dirt cups. Now you can use whatever type of cups you want. I got these cups from the dollar store. I also seen some people get really creative and they do it in like little mini buckets. I also got some gummy worms, and yes, they're open and like half empty because I've been snacking on them for about a month. I also got these mini sour gummy worms for a little bit of contrast in flavor and color. I also got some candy bones and tombstones, mini eyeballs, skulls, you name it. And to make this even more gross, I got some gummy eyeballs. I also got some piping bags just to make it a little bit easier to get that pudding into the cups, which I'm going to use with my wide tip. Fill up said piping bag with some of my pudding mixture, and then we are good to go. I'm going to do about 9 cups at a time, and just to let you know, this recipe with this size cups made about 18 of these size cups. So just keep that in mind when making this recipe. Depending on the size of your cups will determine the amount that you make. So I'm going to scoop in some of my Oreo crumbs into the bottom of each cup. If I had to estimate, I would say this is probably about 2 tablespoons of the Oreo mixture. And again too, the amount of everything will probably differ depending on the size of the containers or cups that you use. If you want to put more crumbs on the top or on the bottom, just, buy extra Oreos and make extra crumbs. Once all of the bottom of our cups are filled with our Oreo crumbs, I'm going to take these here candy skulls, bones, and eyeballs, and I'm going to place them into the bottom of each cup on top of those Oreo crumbs so you can sort of, dig them up later. That's my evil laugh. If you ever hear that, run. So now we're just going to go around to each one of our cups and start filling it with our pudding mixture. And you want a nice thick amount here, almost to the top of each cup. Once all of our pudding cups are full, we're going to go around with our big worms, hopefully none of the ones that you owe money to. And let me know in the comments if you know what movie that's a reference to. And I'm putting the worms now so that we can sort of go around with our dirt, our Oreo dirt, and sort of bury them at least halfway with our Oreo dirt. And once all of our cups are topped with our dirt, it's time to decorate, go creative and crazy here. I got some chocolate and candy tombstones that I'm going to do for a couple of them. The bigger tombstones, the chocolate ones, I actually made. I'll show that in an upcoming video for my graveyard brownies. And the smaller candy tombstones, those actually came in a pack of Halloween sprinkles. Then I'm going to go around and place a different color eyeball into each cup. And these eyeballs are really good. I think I got these at the dollar store. If you can find the same one, the same brand, these are actually pretty good. They have nice flavor and everything. Next, I'm breaking out the mini sour gummy worms, which, like I said, should give this a nice contrast and flavor because they're sour. And these are also neon, so they're a little brighter than the big gummy worms, which I think will give it a nice contrast in color too. And lastly but not least, I got some of these candy mini bone sprinkles. Mini candy bones or mini bone sprinkles, whatever you want to call them. And I'm gonna let them do what sprinkles do best. I'm going to sprinkle them randomly over the top of all these cups. And that's it. Our cup of dirts are done. Looking spooky, terrifying, gross. But let me tell you, these things are so good. It is so delicious. Even the pudding, like that is so good. Like even if you just want to make that, like if you're just looking to like up your pudding game or make the pudding, like instant pudding, even better, just follow those steps for the pudding. It is so good. And trust me, you might be tempted to eat these right away, but I'm promising you, the longer they sit, the better they are. All right, y'all, that's it for this video. That's it for me in this video. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.
Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, well, I don't wanna jinx it, baby, and twist myself at the spine. Don't wanna overthink it, baby. It's just twist your body and mine. Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, but I don't wanna jinx it, baby. Let's not get ahead of my time. Oh, but I don't wanna miss you, baby. So I stand up and speak my mind. Oh. Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're chilling wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Baby, you give me ice and fire.
Today we are making these graveyard brownies. Rich, decadent, homemade chocolate brownies. Rich vanilla buttercream dyed a spooky green and covered with tombstones and bones. It's spooktacular. Let's get into it. So the first thing we're going to do is make our brownies. For that, you're going to need 1.5 sticks of salted butter. Over at the stove, I got a medium saucepan with a little bit of water. You don't want the water too high. I maybe got about 2 cups in here. And I got my water simmering, okay, just barely to a boil. Now you can use a double boiler for this part. If you don't have a double boiler, you can just use a bowl over your saucepan like I have done. And we're going to let that hot steam from underneath start melting that butter. Once that butter is nice and melted, give it a few stirs, and then we're going to add 1 1/4 cups of bittersweet chocolate chips. And as usual, the full recipe will be in the description below. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you like what you see. Now here is where we're going to turn the heat off, and we're going to stir until that chocolate is all melted and mixed in with your butter and looking velvety and smooth. We're going to let our chocolate cool. Now on to the next step. Grab a large bowl or your stand mixer bowl, and you're going to need 3 large eggs. Get to cracking those eggs into your bowl. Then we're going to add 3/4 cups of firmly packed brown sugar and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And last but never least, about 2 teaspoons of vanilla vanilla extract. Now put that into your stand mixer with the whisk attachment, or beat it with a hand mixer for about 6 minutes. And you'll see your mixture has thickened and the color has become nice and pale. Let this sit here for a quick minute while we sift half a cup of all-purpose flour. And now we have our 3 main components for our brownies: our egg mixture, our chocolate and butter mixture, and our sifted flour. So starting with our egg mixture and our chocolate mixture, we are going to add in 3 stages the chocolate, folding it into the egg mixture. So basically take 1/3 of your chocolate mixture, fold that into your egg mixture, add another 1/3 of your chocolate mixture, and then fold that into your egg mixture. Then add the last 1/3 of your chocolate mixture and gently fold that in. Then lastly, add your flour mixture in and gently fold that until it is well incorporated, until it is well mixed in. Grease a 9x9 baking dish, add your brownie batter to that baking dish, smooth out your brownie batter. Then we're going to bake this in a preheated 350-degree oven for about 20 to 25 minutes, and it's important not to overbake your brownies. Stay with me now, because while our brownies cool, we are going to make our frosting. So into our stand mixer bowl, we're going to add 2 sticks of slightly softened salted butter. Place that into your stand mixer with the paddle attachment, and we're going to beat this on medium speed for about 7 minutes. While our butter is working its magic, we are going to measure and sift 4 cups of powdered sugar. And I just want to point out, if your powdered sugar is brand new and fresh, you could probably skip the sifting, but I usually do it anyway. It's just a habit. After 6 minutes, your butter should have doubled in size and is now nice and pale. What I like to do next is add a pinch of salt, a little bit of vanilla extract, all of our powdered sugar at once, and about 1/4 cup of milk, and let this mix on low until everything is nice and smooth. Now to get that spooky green color, we're going to add in a little bit of icing color. Green icing color. This stuff is pretty strong, so I'm not going to add too much. Just a little bit on the end of a toothpick will do ya. I don't want it too dark. I'm not going for a dark green or like a grass green. I want it sort of like a mint green. Okay, so our icing is finished up. Now we're going to make the final touches for our graveyard brownies, which include some tombstones. We got to make some tombstones and some bats, and we're going to make them out of some melted chocolate. So really what we're doing, I got some Merkin's milk chocolate. I melted that down. I got some Halloween chocolate molds, and we're going to do the tombstones and the bats. Once those are set, I'm going to pop them out and get them on some parchment paper. Now for the bats, I got some rose gold chocolate dust to give them sort of a bronze look to them. And for the tombstones, I got some silver chocolate dust to give them sort of that cement look. Now for the dirt, which is going to go with our tombstones, we got some Oreos for that. Pretty simple. We're going to place a few of those into a food processor, chop those up until they are a fine crumb, which is going to be our dirt. With our brownies nice and cool, it is time to start layering on some nice scoops of our frosting. And it almost looks like mint ice cream, which kind of makes me feel sad that I didn't flavor the buttercream some sort of mint flavor, which is kind of controversial because I know a lot of people don't like mint flavored chocolate ice cream or mint and chip chocolate flavored ice cream or anything mint and chocolate flavored, which is kind of crazy because I actually do love mint and chocolate flavored stuff. But I don't know, let me know in the comments, do you like mint chocolate chip ice cream or mint flavored chocolate stuff? Anyway, back on topic, we're going to smooth our icing out, and then it is time to start decorating. And this is where you can really go crazy, really get creative. I'm going to put a tombstone here, a tombstone there. I'm going to put some of our Oreo crumbs to make it look like dirt, to make it appear like a freshly dug grave is there, and I'm going to square it out a little bit. And the same thing for our second tombstone. I also got some candy bones and skulls, which now that I think about it is kind of morbid, but it's all in good fun. And we are going to do the same thing for our second large tombstone. I also got some smaller candy tombstones, and I'm going to place those around randomly. Some of them I'm going to put falling over, some of them I'm going to put standing up, you know, kind of like how they would appear in an old, decrepit, maybe abandoned, haunted graveyard. I'm going to drop in some more scrumptious skulls and some delicious bloody eyeballs. I'm going to scatter in some spooky ghosts to haunt the place, some more bones of the dearly departed, some red and black sprinkles to frighten even the bravest, a bat in each corner to guard the lost souls. And there you have it, our graveyard brownies are complete, guaranteed to send shivers up the spines of your guests. Alright everyone, that's it for me, that's it for this video, that's it for me in this video. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next spooky video. Peanut butter cheesecake, topped with Reese's Pieces and mini peanut butter cups. Oh, and the crust is made from Nutter Butters. My peanut butter lover's gonna love this. The first thing we're going to do is make our crust. You're going to need one family-sized package of Nutter Butter sandwich cookies, and one package because we're going to use the whole package to make our crust. And I honestly haven't had a Nutter Butter in like years, so just for old time's sake, I'm going to try one. And yeah, it's really good. It's pretty good. It's a lot of peanut butter taste. I definitely think we could do better, so maybe we'll do that in another video. Okay, so minus the one that I ate, and you can eat one too. We're gonna put all of our Nutter Butters into a food processor, and we're going to crush them and grind them until they are a fine crumb. Add your Nutter Butter crumbs to a large bowl. Then we're gonna add 5 tablespoons of melted butter right to the crumbs. Mix that up until you sort of get like a wet, clumpy sand mixture. Then add that to a 9-inch springform cake pan. Take your time. You want to evenly spread this out throughout the base of the pan. You want to get it nice and even and flat. Once your crust is even on the bottom, you want to take something that's flat on the bottom and sort of round it up on the sides like a measuring cup or a glass, and use that to press some of your crust up on the side of your pan to create that border. Then we are going to bake our crust in a preheated 350-degree oven for about 8 to 10 minutes until it is firm. Then put it on the side to cool. Let's go over the ingredients for our cheesecake. We're going to need 4 8-ounce blocks of cream cheese at room temperature. You're going to need 4 large eggs, also at room temperature. Also, half a cup of sour cream, also at room temperature. You're going to need some vanilla extract, 1 1/4 cups of granulated sugar, and 1 cup of creamy peanut butter. As usual, all the ingredients will be in the description below. And if you're enjoying the video and you like what you see so far, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. First thing on the to-do list, add all of your room temperature cream cheese to a mixing bowl and add your 1 cup of peanut butter. Add that to your stand mixer with the paddle attachment, and you're gonna mix this for about 30 seconds on medium speed. After that, stop to scrape down the sides of the bowl, then mix this again for another 30 seconds. Then we're gonna add the sugar, the sour cream, and 2 heavy-handed teaspoons of vanilla extract. Let that mix on medium speed until everything is just barely combined. Crack all 4 of your eggs into a separate container, whisk those up, then slowly add them to your mixture while you're mixing on low speed. Do this until all the eggs are incorporated. After all your eggs are mixed in, your cheesecake batter should look pretty smooth. Now you're gonna wanna release some of those air bubbles that are trapped in your cheesecake batter, so you can either tap it on the counter a few times, or if you have neighbors and you don't want them to hate you, just tap it on the bottom a few times like I'm doing. Pour your cheesecake batter into your prepared crust, then it's time to bake. Now the baking method I like to use is for a no water bath method. It comes from lawrencelatest.com. I'll leave a link to her website in the description below, and I'll write out the full baking directions in the description below. Now after your cheesecake has baked and cooled in the fridge overnight, which it has for us, it should be the next day, which it is for us. I have a piping bag with my Wilton 1M tip, and in that piping bag I have half vanilla buttercream and half chocolate buttercream. Links also in the description if you need recipes for those as well. And from there, I'm going to go around the outer perimeter with my design, and they sort of look like little Hershey Kisses. I'm sure this design has some sort of exact name. If there's any bakers here, let me know in the comments what this type of design is called. And once our design is done, all around the top, we're going to decorate with some candies. We got some Reese's Pieces, of course, one of the best peanut butter candies in my opinion, and some of these mini milk chocolate peanut butter cups from Trader Joe's. The Reese's Pieces, I'm just going to make a border going around the perimeter in front of our buttercream. As for our mini chocolate peanut butter cups, I'm going to go in and drop one every here and there, you know, spice it up a bit. Boom, 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 and that's it. Our peanut butter cheesecake is done, looking good, looking too good to be true. You know I'm gonna have to dig into a piece of this. The Nutter Butter crust especially, you know I was more than excited to dig into this. And let me tell you, everything just melted into my mouth. That peanut butter cheesecake was so delightful. That crust especially is delicious. You know I had to get a second piece, but unfortunately, that's it for this video. That's it for me in this video. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. You know I will.